Gangs of Sherwood is amazing fun to play both co-op and solo, and if you're a fan of action-adventure games with fast-paced combat and satisfying combos, then you should definitely be giving it a go. There are a few things we wish we knew before we started, however, to make the experience go even smoother. Hi everyone, this is Jason from Realm Space Gaming, and today we're showing you which mistakes to avoid in Gangs of Sherwood. Some of these may seem obvious, but hindsight is 20/20, so it's better to know before you find out the hard way. Before we jump in, this video will be spoiler free because this is an epic game and you should experience it for yourself. And a quick shout out to Appeal Studios for sponsoring us a key to make this video. Starting out then, the first mistake you can make is not diversifying your characters. Characters are divided into two groups. We'll call them strong or nimble. There are some areas in the game where a narrow gap exists, and only the nimble characters can get through this. But there are also areas which require a strong character to do something like lift a portcullis or break through a wall. If it's a necessary area to traverse in order to complete the mission, there will be different pathways for each type of character to enter, but there are also bonus areas which can only be accessed by one of the two, so if you don't have the right character, you might be missing out on content and loot. This means that if you want to fully complete an area, you have two choices. Play the area twice, or play it co-op, but here's where the mistake is easy to make. If you're playing co-op with only one other person, it's most ideal if you choose between Robin of Locksley or Maid Marian, and your friend chooses between Friar Tuck and Little John, or vice versa. If you end up with both Robin and Marian, or Tuck and John going into a mission together, you're not going to be able to get through the bonus areas. If you're playing solo, it's an easier mistake to avoid when you play the level again, but in this instance you're not just doing it for the extra loot, you're also going to have a genuinely good time just leveling up a different character and trying a new playstyle. You can't get a good feel for each character with just one or two missions because they really start to shine once you begin unlocking their enhanced abilities and new combos. Your account rank carries over between characters to unlock new skills and shards for different builds, but gold does not, so it'll be good to earn some on your other characters so you can enjoy them properly too. Some characters might be better suited to some missions than others, and you don't want to end up halfway through the game with only one character having any upgrades purchased for them in order to fight their way through the mission. The second mistake you can make is not exploring. Gangs of Sherwood has a unique, almost steampunk, futuristic, dystopian art style, and they've built a rather engaging world for you to explore. Now granted, you are encouraged to finish levels quickly because you're given a bonus for time at the end of the level, but this doesn't mean you should avoid exploring. In fact, there are a lot of hidden areas just slightly off the beaten path in which you'll find hidden treasure caches or a collectible item which will trigger some dialogue from the group. Sometimes you may need a specific type of character to access the hidden area, as we noted earlier, so if you find one you can't access, remember where it is for when you come back later with a viable character. There are also some optional quests with objectives that may be in these other areas, so do a little exploring to find them. Speaking of optional quests, that brings us to the third mistake you can make, and that's not completing quests. One crucial mistake to avoid in Gangs of Sherwood is neglecting to complete all the objectives in your optional quests. While it's tempting to rush through to the main objective and fight the boss, taking the time to explore, as we mentioned a moment ago, will often be enough to find everything you need in order to complete your objectives. It's not too difficult, and it may level your gang faster and reward more gold at the end of the mission, and believe me, you want more gold. That brings us to our fourth mistake, which is looting too fast. In your eagerness to gather loot, be cautious not to replace your current artifact accidentally. Gangs of Sherwood allows you to carry only one artifact at a time early on, though once you've progressed a bit, you'll be able to equip up to 4. But looting too quickly before then can lead to unintended swaps. Each artifact offers unique benefits and can mean the difference between great or poor performance in a level, so it's important to evaluate each new find carefully. In addition to that, if you're playing co-op, then it's worth noting that loot is not instanced, so if you take the artifact, then there's nothing left for your friend. Consider speaking to them and figuring out which artifact is best for each of you so that you function better together as a team. As a side note, in your rush to get toward loot crates, you might also neglect all the destructible crates and barrels that you see across the map, many of which can be destroyed to drop additional gold, so keep an eye out for those too. The fifth mistake you can make is not fighting well, and we don't mean losing your fights. A key aspect of Gangs of Sherwood is the ranking system during each fight, where you're rewarded based on your combat performance. Achieving a higher rank, such as Ace or Brave, grants better rewards. In order to excel in this area, focus on executing fluid combos and utilizing your character's unique abilities effectively. Look at how many enemies there are and first take out the ones who might interrupt you the most, chaining your attacks to do so and utilizing the combos you've unlocked. Each character does this slightly differently, and part of the reason this system exists is to encourage you not just to fight well, but to look good doing it too. Speaking about combat, the sixth mistake you can make is not blocking and dodging. In Gangs of Sherwood, enemies have danger indicators that flash before their attacks happen. It's crucial to observe these cues and react accordingly. Friar Tuck is one of the best at blocking on accounts of the large shield that he summons compared to the small shield summoned by everybody else, so if you're playing as him or have him on your team, know that he's capable of shielding allies as well. Characters are also able to buy the parrying combo, which will make your blocks far more effective and open up your enemies to vulnerability as well. You certainly can't tank every hit with blocks, however, so dodging is essential to survive as well, especially against area of effect attacks. And it's not just dodging that you need to be looking at doing. The air dash mechanic that happens when you jump again while in the air isn't just for movement, it's an especially effective dodging tool as well. Mastering these defensive maneuvers will greatly enhance your survivability in combat and your effectiveness in the game overall. The seventh mistake you can make is trying too hard. Now, we've covered that you need to perform well in combat to score well, and that you need to zip about dodging and blocking as well, but sometimes it's best to keep it simple. It's tempting to always want to execute the most epic combo or always try to land a headshot, but when you're being overwhelmed by too many foes or find yourself taking too much damage, sometimes it's best just to whittle the enemy numbers down a bit with a regular string of attacks. Overcomplicating your strategy can lead to missed opportunities and vulnerability to enemy attacks. Strike a balance between simple attacks and complex combos to maintain control and efficiency in battle. Especially in modes like where you have to push a cart, focus on the objective at hand, otherwise your fight may very well last forever. The eighth mistake you can make is not paying attention to the environment. Some games have environmental hazards which can trip you up, and while there aren't many of these in Gangs of Sherwood, I suppose it shouldn't come as any surprise that it's not a good idea to go standing around in any fires. Doing so will quickly fill up a burn bar that, once full, will set you on fire and do a substantial amount of damage. Thankfully, it seems environmental hazards apply even more to your enemies if you have the means to utilize them. Ranged attacks, for example, might be able to drop heavy crates on your enemies, quickly turning a difficult fight into an easy one. You can also activate traps and poison vents under your enemy's feet, so keep an eye out for those environmental aids and use them effectively. The ninth mistake you can make is spending your gold too quickly. This one is pretty simple, but hey, it's easy to get excited when you see an awesome new combo, realize you can afford it, and then spend all of your gold on it. While this isn't a problem in and of itself, there are other things you might want to spend your gold on as well. Progressing through the game will unlock new vendors, and while one vendor might sell you direct upgrades to your attacks, another might sell you combos, so be sure to take a look at what each vendor has to offer before you spend your gold, otherwise you'll end up with a quickly growing shopping list. That's all we have for you today on Gangs of Sherwood. We hope this video helps you enjoy the game a bit more when you jump in. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to drop a like and subscribe to let us know you'd like us to keep covering Gangs of Sherwood, as we'll bring you the best value quickly and let you jump straight back into gaming. I also encourage you to check out our Discord server, where we're growing a passionate community of gamers. It's a fun place to hang out, talk about your favorite games, and connect with the community here at Realm Space Gaming. My name is Jason, and here's a big thank you from everyone at Realm Space Gaming for watching, and don't forget to enjoy the rest of your day.